here's the question I think most people are wanting to ask you. Who's at fault?
A lot of people looking for the answer to that. Texas lawmakers trying to get to the bottom of what caused last week's power crisis in Texas. Good evening. I'm Brian Mays.
I'm Terry Gruca. KVUE political anchor Ashley Godot is live at the Capitol today.
Ashley, you've been following these hearings all day today. What's your big takeaway this afternoon?
Brian and Terry, I've got to tell you, we've been hearing a lot of coulda, woulda, shouldas. And as a Texan, quite frankly, it is frustrating to hear how and why these systems failed us and failed us to the point of death for some of our neighbors.
To call this unacceptable would be a severe understatement.
The tone inside the Texas Capitol Thursday stern as lawmakers in both the House and Senate search for answers to the power crisis that left millions without electricity and water for days and for dozens turned deadly.
Including the death of 11-year-old Christian Pineda. Who died in his sleep after playing in the snow and returning to his unheated home.
He spent the last time of his life under a pile of blankets, struggling to stay warm.
The House Committees on State Affairs and Energy Resources held a joint hearing, first questioning the leaders of two power generators, Vistra Corp and NRG. Each talked about their shortcomings, but also pointed out problems in the system, including a lack of communication with the public. Kurt Morgan, CEO of Vistra Corp, says their meteorologist told them 1 week before the storm hit that there would not be enough power, and they alerted ERCOT.
When we did reach out, and this isn't blaming anybody, I just was surprised at the lack of urgency that I got from some of the officials, the agencies.
Meanwhile, in the Senate, lawmakers shared the fears they faced in the crisis.
My 9-month pregnant daughter don't want to have discussions about giving birth in a bathtub in this day and age.
The Committee on Business and Commerce questioned the president and CEO of ERCOT. Bill Magnus said the winter storm took out 48% of ERCOT's power generation, so companies had to significantly cut usage. And when they did, they couldn't move the power around.
I think the reason we haven't seen a situation where you couldn't rotate outages is because the amount of load we shed was so large that I'll bet in most places where you had to shed that much and you're in these conditions, they had a blackout. It's hard to hold together.
Magnus admits communication with the public needed to be better. The end goal of these hearings is for lawmakers to better understand what led to the crisis so they can create laws to prevent it from happening again.
Eventually ends up.
Now, throughout this crisis and in the aftermath, we've heard a lot about winterization and making sure that Texas's energy sector can function through the winter months. But today, experts say that may not be as easy as it seems. I'll have more on that for you tonight at 6 o'clock.
Ashley, the power generator operators who testified today, what did they say was the main problem there?
Well, from their perspective, the gas system, which creates the power, and the electric system do not work together. And they are suggesting that the state create an agency that will simultaneously monitor both, gas and energy. And they also agree that there should be more communication with the public when things like this happen. And in fact, they promised lawmakers today that they will get them a plan discussing what things can be done to fix this within 1 week.
All right, communication will be a great place to start. Ashley Godot live at our state capitol. We'll see you again at 6, Ashley.